the spell will be broken.
Wait!
Walt Disney's Cinderella on DVD October 4th.
Visa Skycam takes you to Sunday Night Football. The undefeated G-Men taking on the 0-2 Lightning Bolts in San Diego. Following NFL Primetime, bottom of the hour. Surprising 0-2 start for Dante Culpepper and the Minnesota Vikings. 8 picks, 1 touchdown pass this season. But on the opening kickoff against New Orleans, the Vikings forced the turnover by Aaron Stecker, and Antoine Winfield recovers same way the Saints began the Monday night game with the Giants. And then right away, the Giants had scored Monday. 1-play scrimmage, Minnesota, touchdown. Culpepper to Travis Taylor, 7-0 V-Men. Culpepper to Taylor again, that's a nice catch. And now it's a 17-0 Minnesota lead. You knew Dante Culpepper wouldn't be down for that long. And his top draft pick this year is Troy Williamson. Airing it. Oh, man, right on the money. 24-0. 3 TD passes first half. About it. Dante Culpepper.
I hear he's got it rolling.
Yes, you could see it. But even when the Saints scored, they did this. And, you just feel for them. It's essentially 4 straight games on the road there. Preseason, the closer was on the road, too. Saints down 24-6. That was a 2-point conversion. Miscue. But Deuce McAllister is going to score. They're not out of it. 24-16. Field goal Minnesota, 27-16. Aaron Brooks picked off by Antoine Winfield. That's nice. Brooks picked off twice. Jim Haslett and company finally get a, quote, home game next week in San Antonio when the Saints host Buffalo on Sunday. But for this one, the Vikings off the mat, 33-16. Waltzing Mawilde had 101 yards running for Minnesota, but 300 yards Culpepper.
Yeah, and Minnesota also had 38 carries for almost 150 yards, and I think the difference when we saw the ability of the quarterback to get a little bit relaxed in the pocket, that's the difference, or one of the main differences in the Culpepper that we saw today.
So each of those teams 1 and 2. Meanwhile, did someone mention this week that T.O. and Randy Moss were going head-to-head on the football field? Oh, by the way, the Philadelphia Eagles were hosting the Oakland Raiders, who played well in 2 games, but didn't have, not just quite well enough, didn't have anything to show for it. All the stars on the field, Philly, McNabb and Westbrook, but in the end, who would have guessed it would have come down to a gimpy kicker? Here's our prime cut. And we go to the link. Terrell Owens, Randy Moss, 2 of the most prolific receivers of this or any time. And here's the opening kickoff. David Akers, remember, he had the hamstring problem last week. Kicks off to start the game. The Eagles had a penalty called on him, but that's not all, so they get to re-kick. But he injures his right hamstring on the kick. He's going to give it another shot. This is the second opening kickoff. Oh, boy. And a short return from Oakland's Chris Carr, but do you believe another offsides, Philadelphia, and so they kick again. And this time it's Mike Bartram, who we saw make an extra point last week. Actually, Bartram, we saw kick off last week, the tight end. And his kick goes out of bounds, so now Oakland really gets it in good position. And they took advantage. Kerry Collins to Lamont Jordan, the swing pass, 8 yards, 7-0. They ate it. Donovan McNabb threw 5 touchdown passes last week, but, a sternum injury doesn't go away.
Well, I think we've heard a little bit about the groin. We hear a little bit about the sternum. I think you add those things up that early on, taking Donovan a little while to get comfortable. Their ball gets tipped up in the air, intercepted by Warren Sapp. Then same overthrow of Brian Westbrook. Here he scrambles. L.J. Smith can't hold on to the ball. Intercepted Warren Sapp. But he settled down. They warmed up Detmer. He finally got settled into the game.
He overthrows a wide-open L.J. Smith in the second quarter. He's obviously bothered, though, Tommy, but the Eagles down 7-0, hanging in. Now, bother no more. Early second quarter. Rolling out is McNabb. No! T.O. nailed by Charles Woodson. How about that?
You know, T.O. bounced right back up till he took the lick, and he bounced right back up, made the play.
And, of course, a little talking back and forth. Brian Westbrook was immense in this game. Look at him inside, outside, zip, zap, 18 yards. Eagles need the extra point, though they're down 7-6. So here's who kicked an extra point last week. But Mark Semino, hit his own guy in a helmet. And so Andy Reid thought about dressing 2 kickers for the game, which he didn't really want to do. And now we'll have to see how Akers comes out. So remember, questionable kicking. They're down 10-6. Could McNabb and company score touchdowns? Here's the out route to T.O. Gets near a first down. 2 plays later. How hard is this ball? 4-yard touchdown, 100th overall touchdown by T.O. It's 12-10. And now here's Akers. And Akers, it's not exactly Green Acres, but it's from
Hurting. Louisville.
But he makes it. Good job, David. 13-10. Fourth quarter, just over 4 minutes to go. Moss's turn. Kerry Collins, Randy Moss, into Eagle territory, inside the 40. Under 3 to go. First and 15, a 20-13 game. Collins to Doug Gabriel. Blows the horn in the end zone. Touchdown. We're tied at 20. Minute 14 to go. 3rd and 9 Philly. McNabb. Greg Lewis. First down. Can Akers muster enough if he's needed? 40 seconds to go. 3rd and 5. Owens over the middle. 17 yards. Moss. They're getting close. 12 seconds to go. It's 23 yards. But Akers is not Akers. But yes, he is. No, he just gets it inside the left upright. Obviously in pain. The Eagles and Norv is going, we've been close to 3 really good teams. Really good teams.
Best 0-3 football team we've seen. Well, I know that sounds odd, but the Raiders have played solid football. They played some good football teams, and they just come up on the short end 3 times.
On the other end of the stick, the Eagles win it by the count of 23-20. McNabb ending up with 365 yards. Westbrook running and catching 208. But afterwards, talking to Eagles locker room about David Green Acres.
I think what he did today is he solidified the fact that being on one leg, that the team has the full confidence in him that he can make the kick from anywhere.
When we're out there, it's all one team, and we're trying to do the best we can and have each other's backs and win the game. And I think we showed that today. That was a character win, in my opinion.
Well, character for him, and the Eagles had their hands full. But the Eagles have something. They have a different sort of player. We saw it last year in Brian Westbrook, and allows them to. We don't have any big power running, but we have a different sort of.
Well, first of all, David Akers in a lot of pain. He showed a lot of courage by coming out and doing what he did. The game starts off about Randy Moss and T.O., but I think as you watch the game progress, you couldn't help but see how valuable Brian Westbrook is to this football team. Maybe there is no back in the league. Very Marshall Faulk-like in what he does. You can line him up. I saw him at the split end, in the backfield, in the slot. He puts pressure on everybody on the field to do something different when he is out there. And defensively right now, he seems to me to be a guy who you really can't figure out what you want to do with him. Do you want to put a linebacker on him who he's going to beat every single time, or do you want to put a safety on him who he's going to run away from? It's just an odd matchup for anybody in this league right now.
And so Philadelphia wins back-to-back, although one easier than the other against the Bay Area teams. The Raiders scratching their head. Did we get a break in the schedule here? We're 0-3 when we return. On NFL Primetime, the Browns and the Colts. Certainly the Colts would break out against Cleveland, or would we see their new-look defense excel again? Jags, Jets, 2 Marshall quarterbacks battling injured to the end. Now we go to one of the 2-0 teams, the Indianapolis Colts, against Romeo Crennel and the new-look Cleveland Browns. Hunter Smith is going to punt it for the Colts at home, and Dennis Northcutt, we know what he can do. He cuts north, then he cuts east, then he cuts west, and then he goes south. 82 yards, a compass return. But no, don't tell me there's a flag on the play. Block in the back, but Northcutt can still do this time.
Yes.
So there's still no score in the first. Edgerrin James a touchdown. The Colts have played 2 low-scoring games, un-Colt-like. And here's another one. Trent Dilfer wasn't sacked the first 2 games this year, but Dwight Freeney says, you haven't played me. Look at 93 from
Bloomfield, Connecticut.
There you go, Tommy. Had 3 sacks.
No, I got mesmerized by the fact that he is so quick off the line of scrimmage, Boom.
Peyton Manning to Marvin Harrison, throwing into triple coverage. Jalen McCutcheon makes the pick. Wait a minute. 7-3, that's it? In a Colts game? Dilfer, paying attention to the defense, lines up under guard. Joe Andruzzi, the one-time Patriot. And then Trent, you got to go over here. Go over there. There's the center, Jeff Bain. Trent.
Not
you know what?
Bain.
He's on. I mean, and he laughs it off. Meanwhile, can't laugh off this.
Yeah, you just look at the speed of Dwight Freeney as he comes off the ball. It's just amazing. His first step makes him look like he's offsides almost every time, but he's not. He just gets a tremendous jump.
With the score 13-6 early fourth quarter, Peyton to Marvin Harrison. They did not get the touchdown number 100, but they passed our friends Jim Kelly and Andre Reed for the most yards quarterback-receiver tandem, 9,568 and counting. And the Colts win another low-scoring game, 13-6. Here's the news. They've given up just 16 points, Tom, in 3 games. As Tony Dungy says, we can learn how to win these type of games. We know we can win the shootout.
Yeah, and I think that they realized early on that they would have 3 tough football games coming out of the gate, that it wasn't going to be the high-scoring fest that we saw last year, and I think this will be good for them at the end of the year.
And, oh, by the way, good job defensively, Cleveland. You can see the strides they've made.
Absolutely.
You can see the stride all the new coaches have made. Now, the Jaguars are the Jets. And here we go. It's 3-0 in the first quarter. Byron Leftwich to Ernest Wilford makes it 10-0. Then, in the third quarter, 10-7 game, Chad Pennington drops back, hit by Paul Spicer. It's a fumble. The Jets recover. Next play, Pennington brought down again. It's a fumble. But he recovered the fumbles, the hits. He leaves the game with a shoulder injury. That's his surgically repaired shoulder. And Jay Fiedler would replace him. So down 10-7 third quarter. There are the Jets. Meanwhile, John Abraham sacks Byron Leftwich. James Reed picks up the ball. First turnover of the season, Jags. It cost them.
Yeah, and Abraham here comes unblocked, and, the quarterback is just helpless against that play. It's going to result in something bad happening.
Now it's a 2014. Fiedler completes it upfield, but he injures himself on the play. He impairs the jam his right shoulder. He's got to leave. Would it be the third quarterback, Brooks Bollinger? We'll see. Leftwich to Reggie Williams, but David Barrett strips him of the ball. Man, can anybody hold on to this thing? And he returns it to the Jags 21. Still fourth quarter, the Jets looking to go ahead. Down 20-17, Pennington to Wayne Corbett. Initially ruled a touchdown, but let's take a look.
Yeah, take another look. You can see he gets both feet down, but he's juggling the ball as he goes out the back of the end zone. It's no catch, incompletion.
And so they kick a field goal, 20-20 in overtime. Pennington back in the game, but picked off by Rasheed Mathis. But then Leftwich is intercepted. Then the Jags get the ball again. But watch this play. Jimmy Smith has been a great receiver for a long, long time. How does he get 1, 2, 3? And foot hits the pylon.
That's right.
What a great Tommy. That's one of the best jobs down the sideline. Oh, by the way, it won the game that we've seen. Touchdown, 26-20. What a play from Leftwich to Jimmy Smith. And the game, Jags, they go to 2-1. The Jets, a head-scratching loss. Pennington strained right shoulder. Fiedler hurts his shoulder. They'll have to see what they come up with. They've got under 200 yards of offense. When we return, unbelievable game, Patriots at Pittsburgh. We'll show you all the highlights. And a great old rivalry renewed. The 49ers and Cowboys in San Francisco. Coming up on Sunday Night Football, LaDainian Tomlinson and the Chargers see if they can get off the mat with their first win. You remember him at college. Do you remember him in Waco, Texas? In high school, at University High School in Waco, he ran for 2,554 yards and 39 touchdowns as a senior from that 1 year in 1996.
Almost 40 TDs.
No wonder he's still pretty good now.
High School Flashback. brought to you by Nike.
And now the late games. Arizona at Seattle. Here come the Seahawks. Fired up. Cardinals lead. All they do is kick field goals. They lead 3-0. Sean Alexander beginning a big day for Alexander's ragtime marching band. 25-yard touchdown, 7-3. The Seahawks. Now Kurt Warner rolls out. He pulls his right groin. Is there a right or a left groin?
You need Pilates.
Hey, you know what? This guy was a great coach. Chuck Knox.
Absolutely.
Honored. Congratulations, Coach Knox, a great coach with the Rams, but honored by Seattle. He's in the Ring of Honor. 17-9 Seahawks. Josh McCown, hit by Michael Boulware. Fumble, recovered by the Seahawks at the 1. And then Alexander from the 1, you know he's going to get it, 24-9. And then the third quarter, send in McCown. Look at the catch made by Anquan Bolden. One hand. They say he was only able to keep 1 foot in bounds. I think 1 hand, 1 foot, we should call it. Should equal in bounds. With the score 24-12, the Seahawks have the ball at the 48. Alexander with a spin. Whoop! Then backwards, then forwards. Look at him go. Woo! Through the secondary. Down to the 7-yard line. 45-yard gain. 3rd and goal at the 1. Alexander, his 4th touchdown of the game. And the Seahawks, man, you go 2-1 in that division. Well, you know what? So are the Rams. And you can take command. Arizona, once again, losing in the division. Hasselbeck with a productive game. The big story, Alexander. And neither Warner nor McCown could get anything going. Seahawks
you talk about production for the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals under so much pressure. Their quarterbacks, no chance to be successful today.
And they're scoring.